kudos to Dave Whipple. I think he said he got 1 million subscribers, and he's opening a new channel. And it's going to be his name is his YouTube channel is Bush Radical. This man reminds me of my father. He reminds me of how I grew up. He reminds me of the backwards, forward, moving ahead, and doing things and getting it done with what you have. Accomplishing and not waiting until you have a better day, a better tool, a better whatever. You make what you have work. And it works rather well for you because you're ingenuitive, is what my father would say. And that's how I grew up. It wasn't a perfect life, but it was a life, and it was memorable. I learned a lot, just saying. Be radical is what he says. I do think radically. I'd like to think I do. I learn radically. I don't want to just sit under a rock and behave. I don't want to be terrible bad. I don't want to do that either. But I would like to open your eyes and let you know you're not alone. We have sadness in our life. We have what they call depression. They have given a title to every fucking thing that ever was on earth. But the truth is, we have you and I. We have ourselves. We have our minds. And those minds that maybe don't click and tick like they're supposed to, or like we would like them to, or like they would like ours to, we just put in what we can. We bring to the table what we can. And when we get everything to the table, we have a full meal. And we have all the love of people around us. Like the gathering that we have for Thanksgiving. Giving of thanks. Giving of thanks every single day is a good thing. It's not easy. Oh, it's not easy. And I have found over my years in my life that I had a faith in a God. And I've talked about this before. And if this isn't your thing, I'm going to let you know. I don't have a faith in God. I don't believe in the Bible. I don't subscribe to that anymore. And I haven't for a long time. It'll be 10 years this month on the 16th that my son died. And I asked the Christians that I knew in my life and that I loved. And they told me when I said, "Where is my son today? Where is he? In your walk of life, where is he?" They left me alone and walked away, most of them. And they had no words they could tell me. And they whispered, and I could hear them. They were at the kitchen counter, the island out there. And they said, "He's never going to get to heaven. He's never going to go there because he killed himself." I got out. And my friend that I brought to this gathering, we got in our car and we left. If something like that in a faith tells you something that you aren't down with, that you don't believe, you do some investigation of your own in what it is. Because before my son had died, I didn't believe in God anymore. I believed in you and me. That's what I believed in. I believed you and I would do it and get it done, or we wouldn't, and that would be it. Cut and dry. I didn't need a God. I didn't need a faith. I didn't need Christianity. I didn't need any of that. What I needed was my fellow man and woman, my neighbor, my family, my friends, to do what I wanted to do, stand beside them, and make life better. And I didn't need no God to tell me that. That made me a little different, just saying. And I was raised with religion. My mother had been raised Catholic, and she needed us to know. She said, "You need to know what that book says, and you need to know what it's telling you. And you need to know before you decide what it is you want to do in the walk of your life." And I was taught to think freely with an open mind. Not always did she like what she taught me because, oh boy. And I went to a doctor. It was a psychiatrist or psychologist after my husband and I parted. He he left me for a man. He was gay. Now, I'm not against that or I'm not for that. I'm all about what you do in your bedroom is your business. Don't be doing it to children and don't be dragging somebody in there against their will. You do whatever you want because that ain't none of my business. And what I do ain't none of your business. I'm like, he was my best friend and he was no longer there. And it made me sad. People had told me or asked me, how does that make you feel? I said, well, I didn't apparently have the right parts, so I guess I don't feel real bad because your God made me the way I am, and he didn't give me that tool. The only time I'd ever want that tool, and I wouldn't want a transgender, but when I pull alongside of the road on the highway and I watch and see the guy standing there and I know he's pissing on his tire, I'm like, you lucky bastard. And he's not a bastard, but that's what I say because that's how I fly. Seat of my pants. I would like that tool. And then I would like it to coil back in, recoil or whatever you call it, like those vacuum cleaners do, and go away. I don't want one. I just want the tool to be able to stand up and pee and not run down my leg and pull my pants down in the cold. That's all. Or hold a bottle while I'm sitting in my vehicle with, yeah, I want to do that. I can remember. And the reason it's so prevalent to me is because I had grandkids and we'd go to soccer games and my grandson would go in the van and get a Lipton tea bottle and pee in it. Yeah. And my granddaughter says, well, what am I going to do? There's a bucket. She says, I got to pull these. I'm not pulling these down. They can see me. I said, they can't see you. The windows are, they can't see in here. You're okay. So right there and then, that was that. And then I remember we were in my bathroom upstairs. She was a little tyke. Oh, I don't know, maybe 6 years old, staying the night. And I had the shower head that comes down and you can rinse off. And I was always hollering, get behind your ears, make sure you wash your hoo-ha. And I think we called it a peach then. And then I found out I was doing that wrong. You're supposed to call it by what it is. And I guess it ain't a pee hole. Just saying. I was doing everything all wrong is what I found out, but it was absolutely okay and right. There's no right or wrong way. There isn't. It's just our way and what we grew up with. So there's another story in itself. She actually found hers. I called it a button. I didn't know what to call it for a 6-year-old. I really didn't. I said, you need to talk to your mother. I already did this. I'm not doing it. I said, well, that's your... She says, I got shocked. I said, oh, shoot. I said, you got to talk to your mama. And then I got her Pioneer doll book. She was 6 or 7, and my daughter was thumbing through it. In that book, it talks about masturbation. She's a little tight. My daughter says, Mom, I think you ought to proofread these before you give them to the kids. I said, you think? Like, oh, goodness. We were colorful. We weren't rigid. My kids were very well-rounded. And just recently, I was told it was the best compliment a mother could have. I was told by my sister-in-law, she said, when I came to your house, I could sit by your kids and I could touch them. I could put my hand on their lap and they would show me what they were doing. They would tell me what they were having in school and happening. They just approached me and I could approach them and I could put my arm around them at the counter and ask what they were doing, what they were building, or if they would build me one, whatever it was, if it was a sandwich. She goes, I felt at home with your children and you. You accepted me, brought me in, and I became family right away. And I was a complete stranger. I said, well, you were family. You still are family. You divorced my brother, but, well, you divorced each other. You can't divorce the family. It just doesn't happen. If you're a decent, good person, we all make mistakes. We all do. We all fall. We fall hard and skin our knees sometimes. And sometimes we just need somebody to lift us up and tell us when we're doing something that ain't so good. And then we learn from each other. Sometimes we don't feel like we're doing anything wrong. We don't understand. We're looking like, what the hell are they acting like that for? What we're doing is right for us, but not right for them. They would never do that. That's just how it flies. Not everything is right for everybody. Just like my video chats, they're just not right for everyone. If it ain't for you, shut it off. Turn the channel. There's a million and one other YouTubers out there doing it. You can go find something that makes you feel good about you or teaches you something. My granddaughter, she learned on YouTube how to take a washer apart and fix it. She was little shit too. She was a teenager. I think she was about 14, 15. And then she had to take one apart because she lost a beautiful necklace she got from her boyfriend in there. She put it on the side of the washer and fell in. I tell you, she taught me what YouTube can teach us. And I was real grateful for that. But she also taught me when I did a funny thing. She said, Grandma, you could do funny videos, and I bet everybody watch it. I didn't think nothing of it. I think I might have posted one of the videos that she took of me on this channel. I think it's on here. I don't know. I might have taken it off. Sometimes I go through, and those channels that don't seem to be talking to anybody, I take them down, and the words that I have on there, it just seems like there's so much. It's like clutter to me. I find it to be cluttered. And when I write from where I'm at in that day and how I'm thinking or what I'm feeling and or what I've experienced. It's nothing more than that. It's not towards anybody. It's just what I'm walking through in my life. It's like that moccasin thing. And if you get something from it, I'm grateful that you do. And if you don't, you just pass it by. I'm fine with that too. I just kind of roll with the punches. But I'm not a Christian. And I recently had a dear friend that I had for about 25 years that came back into my life yesterday. And she said, something compelled me to contact you. She said that there was something wrong. And I got a hold of you. And I know I'm the last person you'd want to hear from. That wasn't true. She was projecting. I don't like that. Uh, she was also projecting that there's something wrong with me. Something's, I don't know, I was going through something and I was sick or something. I actually was. I was having problems with my AFib. But she wasn't feeling that. She was feeling something herself, but she was projecting on me, and I'm not doing that. She told me when I told her straight up, I said, I don't like the word atheist, but a lot of people are, and I don't know if that's what I am. I said, because I believe the sun will come up tomorrow. And that's a belief. I believe the full moon is out for me, just me, hung in the sky, because I love you to the moon and back, and that's my daughter. And the sun in the sky is sun. My sun is shining on me, and the stars, well, they're like love sprinkles all over us, all of us. So I see those things, and I believe in them because for 50, 62 years, they've come. Even on a cloudy day, it's been a bright daylight day. So I don't need complications. I don't need a rigid thing. I don't like the finger poking in the chest. You need to do this. You need to do that. You have to, whatever. And then I look around and other people aren't having to do the same thing. When you have rules somewhere, it's across the board. And if it ain't, that's something else. And that always makes me look sideways at people. Just does. Just saying. So if we got to follow something, we damn well all better be following it. Don't pick out a handful and say, you, and you are going to do that just because of who you are. That ain't right. And I know that. That's straight up bullshit. That's some other shit. And yesterday I had some other shit in my relationship. And I couldn't understand it. How two people that have nothing to do with each other were having like a lover's quarrel. I didn't quite get that. Made me think some other shit. Like, what the hell's going on behind the scenes? And I feel like I just walked into something. Yeah, that's what it felt like. Maybe I did. I don't know, but it sure did make me scratch my head. And that is something life does. So if you believe in God or gods, your theology is whatever. Grab a cup of coffee. I don't oppose what you believe. I just don't do it. And if you need to rethink because I said the word atheist, I don't know what to call who I am. I don't know why I need a name. Why can't I be called by my name? Just call me Cill. That's it. That's my name, Cill. Cill. That's it. My dad called me that. My brother called me that. That's what I like to be called. I don't like to be called late for supper. That's what I don't like. And I love this one. Oh, I've never seen a cat like water like she does. And that's what a Maine Coon does, I guess. She is beautiful and she's getting bigger and fuzzier and fluffier and heavier. And she's doing good. Touch and go when we first got her, but she's doing all right now. That's a good thing. Coffee's good this morning. Life ain't bad. And my friend that came back into my text messaging, I told her to have a great holiday season. And no, I'm not looking to open up the door because I'm still a little bit hurt, which has a little bit of anger to it. And I'm like, what the fuck you doing here? Take your something over there. And if you're wanting to know if I love and miss you, I do. But I ain't up for the other shit. Not doing that. So I don't think you're a terrible person. I just think I can't do it. And sometimes that's the way life is. You showed your ass to me and you showed it to me for the last time. And I said, no more. 25 years that took. I think I gave a lot of chances. That's all I can say. And she says, I know I messed up. I said, if you feel like you messed up and you're saying that you messed up, you fucking messed up. Because I never said you messed up. I just said, I ain't doing this no more. I ain't. She kept telling me, you're a Christian. You're the best Christian. I'm not a Christian. I am not a Christian. I might be a good person. I'm not a Christian. Don't call me a Christian. I'm not one. And I don't like it that you do that. Stop doing that. I would sit and I would do her. She would get me a book for Christmas that was faith-based and a reading and stuff from the Bible, and we would do it. I'm not opposed to what people do. I can step through it. I used to do it. Hell, I was a Sunday school teacher, believe me. I don't know what that's about, but I was. Can you imagine that? Wonder how those kids turned out. Just saying. I think I better go at that one. I think they're all pretty good from what I know. Yeah. I used to like vacation Bible school. When I go to my grandma's house, I go spend a couple weeks at her house in the summertime, and there was two sisters next door, and I don't know if they were sisters like nuns, like flying nun. I don't know if they were those kind of sisters or if they were really sisters, blood sisters. Maybe they were little lesbians. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but they were wonderful with children. And they loved teaching from the Bible, and they taught fellowship. I love fellowship. I don't like what it's attached to when you do it that way, but what's wrong with having fellowship and not passing a tray around for money, but passing a plate around with goodies on it, bring a dish to pass? I love potlucks. Those are my favorite things to have. I do. I love that. That kind of fellowship. Like, I love how the Amish get together and a barn burns down and they put it up in a day and a half. They're like bees out there and ants making that barn come up. And the supplies are all money that the congregation puts together. And that's their faith. Uh, I don't know if I think they use it as I think they call it a God thing, but it's more of a way to manipulate cash flow and to keep everybody having what they need. But some of them have branched off and said, we're going to use solar. We're going to have gas powered lights. We're going to do this or that. But they make it for whatever it is, how they want to do it. And different ones don't like other groups, just like anywhere else. They have these cliques and niches of people that some do, some don't. And the ones that don't, they look down at, and the ones that do, they look down at or look up at, and they're doing it wrong. They're doing it the way they want to. Mind your own business. Do it the way you want to, and they'll mind their business. But at the end of the day, come together and help each other. That's not so hard to do, is it? It is in this life. Sometimes it really is. I miss my friend, but I don't miss the other stuff. And she asked me if we could continue. I'm not looking to continue. I did vent. I did tell her a lot of stuff. And I said, no, I don't need this anymore. And I don't want to rip a Band-Aid off where I've healed and the sting of it is gone. I've missed you. I wanted to reach out and I won't. And I didn't. I left it the way it was. Uh, I, I thought about it. If she died, how would I feel the time that I missed? I'd probably be hurt by it. I'd probably have to live with that. And I was willing to do that. It's not easy with our choices that we make. We have to live with them. We just have to live with them. And we do. Just saying.